do you find that you're attracted to people who aren't attracted to you? Why is it that that happens to you? Could it be that you put the person on a pedestal? Thank you so much for joining us again on Second Act TV. Welcoming back Sandy Weiner, the founder of Last First Date and the author of Choice Points in Dating. Thank you, Sandy, for being here again.
Thanks for having me again, Silka.
Well, we always have great topics, and I think today is another one that you stirred in my direction, and that I can identify with this, and I think lots of our viewers are going to as well. And that is, do you find that you're attracted to people who aren't attracted to you? I mean, I hear it in the comments a lot. Why is it that that happens to you? Could it be that you put the person on a pedestal? That's what really got my attention on this, Sandy, that we lose ourselves and we put this person on a pedestal when all they can do when that happens is look down on you.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of reasons, and it happens in many different ways too. So let's first talk about that because sometimes it's, oh, somebody wants to get asked out on a second date and they don't ask you out, or even in online dating, this comes up constantly where you find somebody attractive, you like their profile, you write to them and they don't write you back. So it could be as simple as that. And like you said at the beginning, Silka, one of the main reasons that people don't like us back is because we lose ourselves when we put the person we like on a pedestal.
Mhm.
So I want people to think about a time when they liked somebody more than you liked somebody more than they liked you, and how you behaved around these people. Most of the time, we are anxious, we are nervous, we are insecure, we hope they're going to like us. And I mean, think about a time when you like judge yourself, you're not yourself. And so we start people pleasing, we start turning into something that we're not, and we lose ourselves. Does this ever happen to you,
Oh,
Silka?
yeah, that's my pattern, which we're going to talk about another video. Well, you have here three ways of becoming more confident when you're attracted to someone, so you don't do what you just described. And that I could so identify with that. The first one here, you say, become aware of how you feel when you're around people that you're attracted to. Brilliant. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think we don't even always know that we're losing ourselves, that we are feeling like we're not worthy. I've seen so many people, and I've done it myself, where you feel like, oh my God, I'd be so lucky if I got chosen by this person. And so you feel like I'm not enough. And when you feel that way, you feel like, well, if I'm not enough, I'm probably going to get rejected. And then you go through a whole spiral. In order to stop doing that, we need to identify those behaviors first. So awareness is always the first step in changing a behavior. And also, if you want to develop more confidence around attractive people, you've got to really work on this.
What I thought was just such an aha moment, or so thought provoking about this, is just like you said, the awareness that we're not the same. We don't act the same when we're around somebody we really want or are really attracted to. And I don't think we think about that, which is why I love that point. And I'm anxious to hear from our viewers to see if you kind of felt the same way. Yeah, do I change when I'm around somebody that I really want to be with? So that's terrific. So how do we change that? You said here that become aware of how you act around people who you're not attracted to necessarily, and who are attracted to you. What's the interaction there?
Yeah, I mean, if we think about when we're really confident around these people, right? So if somebody really likes us, even if we don't like them, we feel like we're empowered. We are
Mhm.
usually funnier, we're more sexy, we're more authentic, we're able to be ourselves. And I've had this happen to me when I've dated somebody, we didn't have the connection I was looking for, and we became friends. And when the friendship developed, suddenly different parts of me are coming out, and I'm funnier and I'm having more fun and I'm more authentic and I'm sharing stories that I don't usually share with people. I'm more vulnerable. And so attraction is not just dependent on our looks, obviously, because we're talking about behaviors. We're talking about who we become because we have the control to be in certain ways around certain people. So I recommend that you just journal about all this. Journal about the ways you are when you feel disempowered and unattractive, and journal about the ways you feel when somebody is attracted to you and what that does for you.
Yeah. What this speaks to also, and we've done videos on that, is just well, the importance of getting past that first date, second date, giving somebody more of a chance when all the other boxes are checked. Because the research shows, I don't have it right in front of me, but trust me on this one. Research shows that most of, long-term successful relationships are all based on friendship, kind of what you described right now. And sometimes you just go on being friends, but often it continues because that's how you get to know someone. You become attracted when you're attracted to someone. It's the image of someone really that you're attracted to. You don't know them yet. So again, I think this is such an important point, that you realize who you are when you're attracted to someone, and then who you are when you're not and somebody else's. I think there's so many clues there that are just really, really, really important. Okay, so then what's the solution? So now we kind of know, then what?
Right. So step three is the next time you're attracted to somebody, act in the way that you would when someone's attracted to you, but less is at stake. So you're not attracted to them. You want to embody the confidence that you just talked about in your journal. You just accessed your charisma, your sexiness, your humor, your playfulness, your authenticity. These are all qualities that are present in you always, and they're accessible always. And so if you start embodying those traits everywhere you go, when you finally do meet somebody you're really attracted to, you're going to be more, aligned with who you truly are.
Mhm.
And that will make you feel more confident around them and would increase the chance of you having a possible relationship. And also, there's no more pedestal. So the pedestal problem is, like you said, people look down on you. You want to be able to see eye to eye with people. You want to be on equal ground because truly you are. And, we always talk about people who are out of our league and we shouldn't message people who are out of our league. And I just agree with that. I think, if you bring that confidence, anybody is a possibility.
What would be an example of doing something that maybe otherwise you wouldn't have done?
So I'll give an example from my life. Many years ago, when I was dating online, I noticed a lot of the profiles had restrictions that didn't fit in with what I was looking for. So let's say this person who I ended up contacting wanted to date somebody who lived within 20 miles and I lived 40 miles away. He was looking for somebody younger. I contacted him anyway. I knew I was out. He would never have found me in his search because I wouldn't have met his requirements. And I messaged him and I said, I know I live a little further away than your requirements, but I think we have a lot in common and I'd love to talk. And we ended up in a relationship. He was willing to drive. I was willing to drive. But I think a lot of women look at, if a man writes, he's looking for somebody slim, and they say, well, I'm not slim, so he's never going to like me, or I'm not as athletic as he is or she is. And I just want you to know that if you feel good about yourself and you feel like there's enough in that profile to connect you, take a chance. The worst that could happen is you don't hear back from them, but they're not out of your league. Just take a chance and you never know. It could result in an amazing relationship.
What's so interesting again about this is there were so many aha moments in here for me. And one of them is, this is exactly kind of what I did with Paul. because I was starting second act TV at that time. And I sort of decided, you know what, I really don't want to date anybody seriously right now because I don't want to have to worry about or think about, ooh, what if I say this? What if I say that? What are they going to think? Because I brought that from my marriage. I was always concerned about what he thought. Well, I didn't want that. So I was just totally myself around him. I kind of liked him. We were very slow going. In one way, I didn't think that he was necessarily that interested. I know he liked me. I know we liked each other. Again, going back to friendship, but I was myself. He knew the real me. Again, this makes so much sense. If you can do that, if you can just think about, okay, what would I say? What would I do if I didn't care? Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you for sharing your story. And I think really what you're saying is, first of all, you were living your life. And that's really important. And I know we talk about it a lot, but if your whole life is focused on, I have to get somebody and I have to
Mm-hmm.
be in a partnership, and you end up not being that interesting, first of all, if you're really not developing your life
Uh-huh.
outside of a relationship.
Right.
But also, you're speaking to values,
Mm-hmm.
and values are what make us who we are. If we go out, and one of my podcast guests recently said, it's like you have a playground that you play in. Some people will be good at playing with you and some will not. But if you realize it's your playground, you get to set the scene. You get to go out there with confidence saying, well,
Mm-hmm.
this is who I am. Not I'm going to morph into something to make you happy, but I'm going to keep being me. And I know it's one of the hardest things to do because we have such a need to belong and to be
Mm-hmm.
liked and to be chosen.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can get those things out of our heads and really work on our core values and who we are and what we stand for, the right
Mm-hmm.
person will like us for who we are.
Yeah.
And that's really
Yeah.
the bottom line.
Yeah. And like you said, it is absolutely difficult, very hard to do.
Mhm.
That's why the awareness of this, I think, is so important. I hope we drove that home. Again, please leave us your comments on this. See how this resonates with you. And again, I totally get it. This is just so hard to do because I know it was for me. I was that person. You put that person on a pedestal. And again, I was raised like that. Who the man you're with is up here. That is your role, is to make them feel good. And I so carried that into the dating process. And I'm wondering if other, women out there, I mean, men probably aren't quite like that, although maybe you are, how did that affect your dating life? I mean, this is something we could talk about, really forever. One of the things that also leads into it is, wanting what you can't have. That's a whole other segment, the psychology of that, which plays into this as well. So, Sandy, is there anything I haven't asked? I know we kind of went all around here about this. What else would you want our viewers to know about this topic?
Look at other parts of your life where you may have not had a lot of confidence and what the effect was. And
Mhm.
then when you became more competent and confident, because they usually go hand in hand, how that changed your life. And I can say for me, that was public speaking. I used to get up to speak in public, and I would be so self-conscious and think everybody was there to judge me, and I was beneath everybody in ability, and I was going to screw up and I was going to forget everything I had to say. And I mean, I had a million negative beliefs. And as I practiced more and more and more and got more confident on the stage and knew how to write better, I started winning contests and I stopped being so self-deprecating.
Mhm.
And so I'm sure there's something in your life where you feel that you have developed some degree of competency and how you felt when you did. And so I think that may help people who are saying, I don't know how to do this in the
Mhm.
dating situation. You've already slayed a dragon somewhere else. Do it here.
Yeah. Yeah. Just believe. And the thing also is, what's the worst thing that can happen? What's the worst thing that could happen? If they truly do leave you because you're being you, well, then it's not going to work out anyway. Again, it's much,
Yeah.
much, 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 much easier said than done. I want to reemphasize that as well. But it's almost magic. It's almost magic if you don't aren't overbearing, don't try too hard, be yourself. It happens if it's supposed to. So anyway, like I said, it's a topic we can talk about forever. Sandy, thank you. I will, as always, link to all of your information. Do visit Sandy's page, her coaching page. She does coach men as well as women. I know we focus a lot on women when we talk with you. And of course, your book, right there. See, I did it right again. Choice Points in Dating. And we'll see you next time on Second Act TV.